is we're a publicly traded company, but our average ACV size is around $1 million. So I was like, you want me to do what? And so I had an amazing mentor. She brought me in. Then she became a sponsor. You know what a Okay. They had to elevate your voice, and they had to elevate your voice, and help me they feel comfortable with things, my authentic. I have the top largest growth partner year over year, and it's been 5 years in the past October. So we're doing great. In that time, in 2018, when I first started, she was like, oh, I need you to come on. I was like, I have to go to this conference. And so instead of getting the, oh, I don't know if we can sponsor that, she was like, go to the conference. Go also meet with some partners while you're out there, but go to the conference and come back and teach us what it is that you learned. And what I learned and what I saw was a lot of black and brown people, a lot of what the U.S. would consider marginalized. We're coming together. We were talking about AI 5 years ago, even before that. And I got to bring that back into the sales channel that I'm in, and then they're launched.
So, as a founder of a tech company, I actually have bitten on the apple of telco and actually create another vertical. And the question I have for a lot of our companies in here is how many founders are owners in here? How many founders? Okay, cool. With a show of hands, who has 4 business verticals in their business? Who has 4 business verticals? Okay. Who has 3 business verticals? Okay. Who has 2 business verticals? So the reason why this is such an important question, because as tech founders, it's so important for sustainability that we create multiple verticals so that we can grow and also expand our imprint, but also our impact. And so can you tell us as to why it's such an important opportunity ahead of us to start reselling internet, reselling cyber services, reselling software as a new vertical for a lot of our tech startups?
The main opportunity is that, so I'm going to take it back a little bit. We know that all of you founders are in this space. Who are you buying technology from today? Who would you prefer to be buying technology from, right? Preferably, when we go to shop, when we lean into fashion designers or other tech, we leverage people that we know, that we like, things that are in alignment with where we are. And so I love to see when entrepreneurs like yourself and others are growing their business and saying, I already have the relationship with the CEO or the CTO of an organization, because you already have one vertical in the house. So like, now let's look at what your technology needs are. And then there are businesses out there that would help you consult on those technology needs and understand exactly how to do an analysis. They'll run through the entire profile of what that looks like. And now you've expanded and added another layer to your business.
So I like real talk. Who was like, if you say like real talk, say real talk.
Real talk.
All right, so give us a real talk scenario of a business owner you know that was growing in this space, and then once they pivoted, they were able to say, hey, Chipotle, I know that within a region, buy me. I know you have these stories of you trying to help people become those multi-million-dollar companies.
So I can think of one gentleman today. He already had telco kind of in his purview, but he wasn't selling up market, and he wasn't selling like unified communications or contact center, which is what my company sells. He wasn't selling any of those big things. He was doing like rolling trucks for Comcast and like selling maybe $200 opportunities for his customers. And he was getting them internet. He had an amazing space, but then he was losing the business on how they were looking at transforming their technology. He was losing that to another consultant. And so when you started, all he had to do was ask for the introduction to the person that was making these decisions. And then he was able to be in those rooms, right? And he was smart enough, he had the aptitude, he actually had the resources behind him to be successful. And now he's doing bigger things and able to get back to.
And I like to talk real numbers, so I've been growing. And shout out to Ty Smith of Exposure. He's doing a lot of great things with Cox Communications. But the very interesting piece is that this is residual revenue.
Yeah.
So this is like I'm gonna sign on one contract and I'm gonna get 100,000 or $500,000 or etc. This is I'm going to get every year in perpetuity $10,000 per month per client. They're already brokering internet services. So I know a lot of us can use that perpetual to residual revenue. And can you give other examples of services that are modeled, because they need to understand like what does that look like to kind of pivot into this space and the effort versus the return on that effort.
Yeah, so the effort is, and I know it sounds simple,
Right.
but it doesn't. Well, let's use you as an example, Howard, right? So you already have a contact center customer. You have 2 contact center customers. You live in the cybersecurity space. You love that space. You love Web3, all the things. You did not know that you can get paid on the pre-sale side of the house, right? And so what I mean by pre-sales is you're helping those customers after they've already gone to some sort of provider, some SaaS provider, to offer them the technology services, but you didn't know that you could have been the person that made that introduction and help them to analyze maybe 10 different providers to drill down exactly what they were trying to solve in their organization.
Right.
And so that is impactful. A really good girlfriend of mine, shout out to Juanita Cooley, the contact center whisperer, she was you 2 years ago, right? And I got with her, I coached her, I introduced her to the people. She was always killing it on the pro-sale side of the house. So she was implementing or deploying the contact center, or just technology period. And so she was deploying the technology, but she didn't know that if she helped to do the assessment on the front end, she could get this residual income. So an opportunity that was $1 million in ACV, we're going to pay you 20% of that every, or whatever that percentage is, every month until that customer either renews or decides to leave and go somewhere else. And hopefully they renew and keep their contract and their business going.
And then for a lot of us who are influencers or who have, hundreds of thousands of followers, like Tamanta, he has over 20,000 in LinkedIn. 20 is it 50? How many people you got, bro?
About 35.
35,000 people on LinkedIn. And if you took like 5% of that and said, hey, I just want to introduce you to the deal. Talk about getting paid to introduce people, let alone closing a full deal.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a referral model. Earlier you made mention to the resale, and there are large organizations out there today and some small ones that do resale. So that means they white label their technology, or a white label supplier's technology, and sell it. It's all on one bill. It's easily consumable for the customer. But on a referral side of the house, that is just that. You're telling a supplier, hey, I know that Citizen needs some, they need more than a gig of service or circuit. They need 2 gigs. So, and I can help them with that because you may have gotten an introduction and all the things. And so you go in and you help them. It doesn't mean that you just like do a referral and say, I'm out. You actually do need to go through the entire engagement because it's just going to make you smarter and more educated on how to do it quicker, more seamlessly, more efficiently the next time.
Yeah. And so again, I'm about step 1, step 2, step 3. So what are some initial steps for those tech companies and founders here who may have a nonprofit or may have a large network? What's one of the first steps to get into telco?
Yeah, so one of the first steps is I would, reach out to me, and I can introduce you to some of the brokers that are in this space today. They're called technology services distributors. It was something that Exposure helped to spearhead a name for that organization that's brokering these multiple conversations. And so we'll get you in touch with them, and they have an entire process. And Howard, you just went through it, right? They'll reach out to you, get an understanding of what your business looks like today, really understand where you're trying to go, what are you trying to solve for, and then layer you into the technologies initially that you're most interested in, because we're going to take to the things that we're most interested in a lot quicker. We're going to adapt to those quicker. And then those other technologies that you're like, I don't know, but my customer just asked about it. Then you're like, oh, okay, we'll help you with that too. They have engineers, they have sales teams that will help you land and expand in a customer and really help you to define this business model for you as you're going forward. So it's like you're building the plane while you're flying it.
Yeah, and the interesting thing that I found out is that it costs $0 to be a channel partner. And a channel partner is someone that brokers multiple services resources and can leverage the entire industry for particular clients. So for instance, when I enrolled, I literally had a phone call, got a contract, negotiated my rates, because that's where exposure and people like Kelly come in. And within a week, they helped me set up a website. They helped me to meet local people in the industry. And then through exposure, I was able to attend the conference at Fontainebleau at Live, where they brought out the entire, Live and had a big event and etc. So it's not hard to pivot into this industry. And that's the thing. For us tech people, we're beating our heads trying to create these new innovative technologies, begging for money and raising money. But if you can just pick up the phone, leverage your existing network and create revenue, then why not?
Then why not?
Why not?
And we offer, some of this industry will offer all the education that you need to be successful, right? And you're entrepreneurs, you're founders. That means you already have a tenacity and grit about yourself that you're going to do it. But now it's like, open up your network a little bit. It's not going to cost you anything but time, which we know is expensive. It costs a lot, but take a little bit of time and really lean into something that can help to amplify your business and get you additional revenue.
So today we're here for a couple of reasons. One, to showcase what this industry is about and how to get more women and minorities. But talk about your journey as a woman in this space and creating that narrative that I can do this, I can dominate, I can be in a very high yielding industry and still show face every day.
Yeah, so that's it's one of those things that without everybody needs help along, right? Like you find people that take to your vision and really want to help you amplify that. And I was very lucky to have that throughout my entire career as a banker and now on the tech side or SaaS side of the house. And so I've had mentors and sponsors, and really in the spirit of Sankofa is the reason why we started Exposure, to reach back and pull people forward, right? Like, and do so with intention. It's to create revenue, it's to create wealth. We talk about this wealth generation and all the things. If I don't show up every day, then how am I going to share this message with someone else? And so with that, I got my crew around me. Y'all met them, right? We roll deep, but we are all very passionate about making sure we can educate someone else and leave this space better than what we found it. So that means, having those hard conversations with organizations that are like, hey, we did a survey a few years ago, your organization is only 3% minority anything. So what are we doing here? Like, how can we help you bridge that gap? And a lot of times, just like for you founders trying to discern, whether you should lean into technology, it's a lot of lack of exposure. You just don't know what you don't know. And so instead of like holding you accountable and, being upset about it, it's like, let us figure out how to help you get in front of HBCUs, get in front of, minority business urban leagues and stuff like that in a region that you can lean into. So that's my charge. It's something that I am really passionate about, and so it's just been amazing to live it every day.
And again, going back to our founders, they literally have budgets that will pay to have events like this. That's already built and built into their business model. So essentially, you're just doing what you're always doing, but then you're adding this conversation of telco into the mix. Can you talk about some other cool things that just come with being a part of this amazing network of telco?
Yeah, I mean, you also get to network with people that are just like you. So, like, you get to network with people that are not struggling, but they're trying to discern, like, which is the right route. Like, how do I do this? And you're able to mind share and share shift, the things that you learned and others, while having a resource. Like, I think a lot of us is probably, raise your hand if you work in corporate before going to be a founder, right? So there's resources there. There's healthcare resources. There, some places offer gyms. They offer, somebody for you to go talk to. You have a myriad of people that you can lean on. That is what founders need, and that's what we found out that entrepreneurs and consultants for tech sales need as well. And they rally around you. They make sure you feel, comfortable and welcome. There's education. There's a lot of different things that are really neat. And if we get to a point where we are doing events with you, it's because we want you to help you expand your network too. So we want to meet the leaders of the organizations that you're with and help to share your message and a vision for your organization and double down, so we can almost, again, we're amplifying who you are and what you mean to that customer.
Yeah, and tell us what Five9 is, because a lot of us, we know the competitor, and I'll let you kind of key that. But Five9 is something that you all are familiar with, and there are other brands that have similar. So talk about a little about Five9.
Who took a plane to get here? Anybody? All right. Who ordered? Apple has one of these too. So does Uber. Five9 is a cloud contact center as a service organization, and so what that means is we are the ones that help to route your conversations with whether you're looking for your package or you're looking to change your flight because you decide to stay at Basel a little bit longer, or you need to find a ride, right? We're the ones that we're the software that powers that interaction between you and the agent on the other end. So whether you want to talk to them on the phone, you want to text, you want to add them on Insta because you had an amazing experience, whether you want to send an email about it, they're the ones that do that for you.
And also, the indirect aspect is that if you make an introduction to someone like Kelly, hey Kelly, I know this contact center, and I think they should be Five9. What incentives could someone get just for making an introduction like that?
Well, first of all, the incentive is if it's your first customer, then you're in a good headspace. And I say that because contact center is something, when we talk about contact center, we talk about CX or the customer experience, we all know what it's like to have a terrible experience, right? And we like to minimize those as much as possible. So when you come in to your customer with an amazing software that's going to help them elevate their customer experience, then that means that they're able to solve other things in their organization, and you're like a hero, right? So that's one. Secondly, there are residuals, there's commissions, there's all the things that come along with that, that for when that customer does close that deal. And so, those are conversations we can have behind contracts.
Yeah. So how can people get in contact with Exposure? Because Exposure is going to be doing something really cool. We won't talk about it in depth, but Exposure is helping to create a pipeline of talent and help companies diversify how they make money in this telco space. So how can they get in contact with Exposure?
Yeah, you can reach us at Exposure IDC on LinkedIn. Also, Exposure, I was going to say, we have our LinkedIn space. You can also DM me and I can get you in touch with the group. And as we look at 2024, we are really kind of re-evaluating what we were doing. When we first started Exposure, we knew that we wanted to help people get into tech, but then 2020 happened and the whole world shut down, and so we started hosting listening sessions for organizations. We started hosting safe spaces. We had conversations with some of the leaders in this industry, and was like, what are you going to do about it, right? Like really holding people accountable, and some amazing things came out of it. Some of these organizations that couldn't spell DE&I really leaned into that, and their numbers in their organization started to change. Their revenues go up. When you have a diverse workforce, your revenues go up too. But all of those things happen, and now, not that we don't think that that's still a focus, but now it's like, how can we double down on this and really make an impact? So we're leaning into mentorship, and you're a product of that right now. Like, I've introduced you to another, a very well sought after consultant in this space, and you guys have linked up. And so that mentorship, he's going to help you see around corners that you didn't even know you were about to approach, right?
And these are multi-million-dollar networks. Like, these aren't just like lifestyle people. These are people that have millions of dollars, and they found systems, and it's all about systems in tech. So as we wrap up, are there any questions in the audience? I know we do a lot at you all about a new space, but are there any questions in the audience?
Yeah, so one of the... First of all, I want to say thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you guys for coming here and providing value to the community at large. Like, this is informational, it's invaluable, So my first question for the audience, someone who wants to break into the field, what are some tips and strategies? I know you mentioned imposter syndrome, and being minority and a woman in that space. How do you overcome that imposter syndrome and build that connection with your face?
Yeah, so we said we were having real talk, right?
Yeah.
So it's Black excellence. You can't, you got to know your stuff, right? So I come into this space, I work hard. Everybody works hard, but we have to work, and sometimes doubly hard, to get noticed and recognized. One of the things for me was creating a community. That's why that exposure is there, so that you can have some of these safe space conversations like this and just be honest about what you're going to, what you might experience. Look, not everybody's experience is that terrible one, but you're certainly going to need community in this space, so that's one. The other thing I would say is, really double down as far as the business goes, double down on what, again, the technologies that you're interested in right now. You're going to take to those, like people say, duck takes to water, right? Like, if you're super interested in cybersecurity, then double down on cybersecurity and figure out what the around that are important to you, so that you can help to articulate that when you're, launching your business. And then the rest of it is resources and access to it.
So, as we wrap up, we really want to thank, Kelly for being here. We actually want to thank the entire Resource Exchange team for putting this together. This is the first of a couple of panels tonight. Shout out to the entire team at George today, the agency and I look forward to talking to you all more and helping to connect the dots between Kelly, because he has to run out to another event. But thank you all for indulging in this conversation.
Photo.
David, could you snag that?
I can snag it for you. You want me to take it? Yeah. For sure, man.
So, right here. Okay. And push your top hip and focus.
Yeah, I got it. You got to squeeze in there. It's a little bit of a tight lens here.
Yeah, come in the middle.
There you go. Look over here. Smiling faces. Beautiful, beautiful. City skyline.
Can you get one from this angle?
Okay.
Yeah. On the wide shot.
There you go. Beautiful. All right.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Over there. He threw me off. I saw that. I was like, wait.
All right. So jump right into the Web3 panel then? Before it gets too dark out here?
Now I'm going to
Can I get a photo with you?
Thank you, man. Thank you. So this is the first, man.
Yeah, do her head over here. Yeah. Well, head over here.
Thank you, sir. Keep this going.
Thank you. Definitely going to be in contact.
Very inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's one of
those scenarios.
Mr. Sleeve.
What
All right. Before it gets too dark here, we're going to jump into our next panel.
Projects are really good, but now, I'm also an artist. So Sandbox,
All right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Do some quick introductions. No, you got to jump in the shot. Get a little tighter here. All right. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. We're going to be talking about Web3 and the creator economy. So my name is David Karoma. I'm the host of Web3 Warriors, which is a podcast we've been going about a year and a half now. I like to talk to Web3 builders and creators in the space, artists and a lot of developers about what they're doing on the blockchain and all the amazing opportunities that are being created there.